In 1983, there was a promoter in Los Angeles, and he would put on shows. We'd get like 20 people on stage. Everyone gets like 5 minutes. And I would go to these shows. It was really fun. You'd have poets, comedians, people from local bands. And if someone, like, you know, the singer of some band got on stage and was really awful for 5 minutes, it was great. You're like, it's all very friendly. I would go to these shows because they were fun. And one night the promoter said, next week you do 5 minutes. And I went, I don't think so. He said, why? You have a big mouth. Like, let's do it. And like, you know, I think he was like offering $5 or $10. And I was very poor in those days, and that's a lot of food money. I was like, wow, that's some food. I'll do it. And so the next week or whatever it was, I did it. And it came very naturally to me. I did like 5 minutes, a bunch of people laughed. And after the thing was over, I looked at my watch and went, oh, my time is up. And people said, when's your next show? I said, well, I'm leaving on tour in a week. They go, no, the next time you're just on stage talking. I said, never. I got my $10 bill, I'm out of here. And the promoter said, you know, you're good at that. Like, you're a natural, just you without a band. How about we give you 20 minutes at a different show? And I said, oh, okay. How about half an hour? The poets you're opening for, they're gonna open for you, because now you're the draw. And that was 30 some years ago. And so it started very organically, where I didn't see it coming. However, of all the things I've ever done, acting, radio, writing, music, it's the shows where I'm just standing on stage with a microphone. That's what feels natural. The rest of it is like, okay, how do I do this? You just give me a microphone and put me on stage, just like dropping a fish into water. Like, yeah, it swims.
Vamos. Thank you for this interview.
You got it, man.
Big fan of your spoken word shows.
Thanks.
Would like to know about the creative process. Is it similar to a comedian? Do you write a script? You take ideas to the stage and develop them? How you work?
Here's what I do. To get material for the stage, I usually travel. Middle East, Southeast Asia, African continent, America, South America. Camera, talking to people, walking around. And from that, I get information. It's not necessarily a story. It'd be a story if I was a newscaster. What I want is the human element of that. Like, where's the song in what I saw? Where's the human message? That often takes weeks. I come back, I take the memories, the photographs, and I look at them and I go, what did I learn from it? What's the wisdom? Is there a lesson in there? When I find the lesson, something that might be instructive to someone else, interesting, where you're sitting in a seat and someone's talking and you're like, wow, that's cool. That's what goes onto the stage. Sometimes it's immediate. You see something, you experience something, there it is. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, or maybe years for you to go, oh, that's the point. That's the point. Otherwise, you're just giving raw information back to an audience. They might as well just read the news. And so, I don't know how comedians work. I don't consider myself one. Quite often, stuff I say ends up making people laugh.
Because you are truly funny.
Thank you. I don't try. It just kind of lands that way. I don't sit thinking, okay, what will be funny? Maybe comedians do. You'd have to ask one. I honestly don't know how that mechanic works necessarily. And so what you see on stage now is the process of almost 40 years of being on stage. And that's kind of where it's at this point. 20 years ago, the shows were probably different, a bit less humor. So the information doesn't change. I change, and becoming older, whatever. And that's kind of how I work. I let the truth permeate, so it becomes my version of the truth.
What's the importance of work in your life? What makes you so prolific?
Work is the only thing that I value, really, besides honesty, intensity, integrity, perseverance, discipline, respect. I'm 58. I've been famous, or getting my photo taken or whatever, since I was 19. So this is what I know. I never once took the fame aspect seriously. I never once thought I'm a big deal. The work is the deal. Like, who cares about someone recognizing you? It's why they're recognizing you. You wrote that book, you made that record. That book and that record, that it better be good, because your name is on it. Someone, and even more important than that, someone trusted you. Someone took the time, like, oh, I'm gonna put this on, I'm gonna read this. They don't get that time back, and you must respect someone else's life. So for me, the work is important to the point of inspiring fear and nausea. And so the work for me is a single-minded obsession, where I work literally 7 days a week. I'll be working all day today.
You said that the energy for achieving things comes from anger and vengeance.
And, yeah.
Is this your fuel?
Yes, and curiosity. But anger and vengeance are huge, huge propellants in my life. I mean, I'm friendly and respectful, but I'm a very angry person. 24 hours a day, I'm mad. And anger, vengeance, and curiosity propel me every day.
Do you ever wish this energy came from a different place, for a more calm place maybe? No?
Absolutely.
Why not?
I can't help what I've got. I can't help the cards I've been dealt. I can't help how I'm wired. I am how I am, a lot of faulty circuitry. I can't help what happened to me in my life. I wish a lot of things that happened to me didn't happen to me. I wish I was raised differently than how I was. Probably be a lot less painful for everyone involved. But here I am, and here it is, and I deal with it the best I can. But I don't go on stage thinking I'm gonna really ruin these people. I love the audience. I like them more than I like myself. I need them more than they need me. But I don't come to your city to go on stage to mess around. I'm about myself. I'm not serious. Look how I'm dressed. About what I do, I'm as serious as it can possibly get.
When was it that you started to see life like this, like real positive but realistic at the same time?
When I joined the minimum wage working world, like when I graduated from high school and I went into the world as someone who sustains myself entirely. No mom, no dad. I'm paying my rent. I'm, doing what we do in the world. I'm making it happen. And that's when, you're paying taxes and you've got rent. I mean, the real world comes up and goes like, here I am. You're not getting out of it. And then to add on to that, I joined a band called Black Flag. And we're, touring internationally, relentlessly, always out on the road. And you're seeing law enforcement differently, religion differently. This is like Reagan era America, where the local cops would come to our shows. We don't like you. I'm like, you don't even know me. Why don't you like me? Because you heard something? Oh, so you're not even finding out anything, you're just hearing something. So I realized that America's a really tough place. It's a place not to be trusted, unless you can trust it to be uncertain. It's not a place you live in, it's a place you survive. And you really gotta bring your battle gear. And so I survive America, I don't live in it. And I learned all this as an early 20-something, and it informed how I work, how I live, how I save money, how I spend money, how I deal with other people.
Very early age.
To
realize
yes,
life.
because the reality that was being handed to me was, I'm on stage, I'm watching people do their thing, and that's a stabbing that happened. And here's a cop trying to plant drugs on me. I don't do drugs. This cop dropped a bag of white powder at my feet. I don't know what's in the bag. He said, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, come on, man." And I was like, wow, anytime you want, you can put me in jail. And so, what impact would you expect? I mean, if that happened to you, you'd get it. You'd figure things out in about a second and go, okay, this is a rough room. I gotta be real smart. So I was seeing a version of America that certainly my mother never had to endure. As a woman in the working world, she probably had some other kind of total hell to deal with. And so I learned very quickly, because it was a world that I never was given reprieve from. It was as real as you and I sitting here right now. Would probably be the first person to try and help you. Like if you call me in the middle of the night, hey, I'm 100 miles away, I need a ride, I'm coming for you, man. So I can't let you sit out there. I will come to the rescue.
Because you have a great relationship with your fans also.
Yeah.
You reply all the letters.
I try.
Yeah. How's that?
Difficult, because when it was just down to letters, I'd get some letters and I answer them as best I can. With email,
Hundreds and hundreds.
yeah, and rarely is it a letter, hey man, like what you do, Bill from Buffalo, New York. It's like, Henry, I'm 18, I'm real scared about where I'm going. Abusive father, non-existent mother. I'm really confused. Like these long letters, like, what do I do? I don't know. And when you get 1 to 3 of those mixed in with, when are you coming back to Kansas City? I'm one guy. I'm not a doctor, and I'm really busy. And I'm not trying to say, hey kid, you bother me, but as just a single human, I don't know what to do about that. I don't know how to help you get sober. And I get letters that would kill your lawn and peel the paint off your car. Got raped twice, tried to kill myself 3 times. Your books really helped me. And you live in LA, I live in LA. I really need to meet you. Here's your home address. And remember last week when there was that woman outside your house yelling, I love you? That was me. That's what I'm telling you are things that have happened to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know how well equipped I am to deal with all of that. So I do the best I can. But I've been getting that kind of thing for many, many years. As the years go on, I get more of it.
Because your work inspires that.
Yeah, but what the thing that's kind of frustrating is when I get a letter that says, I've seen your interviews on the internet and they've been very helpful. That article you wrote in that magazine about physical fitness, man, I have it tacked on my wall. It's framed at my local gym. And now I need, like, wait a minute. You just spent 300 words telling me you wrote this and it helped me, you said this and it helped me. Aren't we done? Like, why do I need to make a house call? I thought this isn't enough, and I'm not trying to get out of work. Mm-hmm. I just don't necessarily agree that counseling you on the internet or reading your 9-page double-sided letter, Henry, you need to get back to me. Do I? Well, in my mind I do, because this person is being honest. Mm-hmm. They're obviously in a bad situation. I'm almost 60. I got a few more years and then, I need help up the stairs. And I really like what you do. Then let me do it. work never burns me out. People are difficult. I'm not trying to make comment. I'm just saying the older I get, the more time alone I'm in search of. Like I don't go to parties. Like last night I was at that
Inauguration.
Yeah, I can do about 10 minutes of that level of human noise and people are grabbing me, and then I really need to go.
And about that, with so much work, do you ever miss the idea of having friends or family?
No, I'm not wired that way. I've been a loner since I was a kid. I like people. They're my bread and butter, as you can say. I live alone. My phone rings, I don't know, when it's supposed to at 10. It's a press person. I've had a best friend since I was 12. Still have the same best friend, Ian Mackay from the band Fugazi. He's like my favorite human. He's a great person. I would easily take a bullet for him right now. He should be alive, not me. And we talk every Sunday, usually, about 45 Sundays a year out of possible 50 some. Past that, unless it's my manager who's been working with me for about 22 years, Heidi, who texted me 3 times today. I work with people. Most of the people I'm in regular contact with, and this will sound awful, but it's true, I either pay a commission or a salary to. Like who emails me? My road manager, giving me my flight itinerary, or Heidi, the manager, or the lawyer, or the agent. But the agent, many of them, are usually coming through Heidi. Hey, Tim from Australia said there's this festival. You want to do it? Well, let's look at it. When, you know. But as far as someone calling me up, hey, how are you doing? Those people gave up a long time ago. So,
do you ever consider retirement?
No, and it's an interesting word to me. There's a lot of Western ideas that I reject. Pension, retirement, this idea that I'm going to work in a cubicle at a job I don't like, so one day I won't have to work in the cubicle. And I can do what? Sit at home with my ruined body, bloated from bad food, aggravation, and nerves, and watch bad TV for 4 years and then grab my chest as my heart explodes and die in the living room to be found 9 days later, my face eaten by cats. That's not how I'm going out. And so it's like my parents worked until they worked their butts off. Very intense people on the work thing. One's a PhD, the other one worked in government. Whew. Hardcore work. And they hit that whatever the age is, and they got their little ticket. Now we're going to travel. Okay, you need 3 people to load you onto the plane. I don't want that for me. And so I just, I'm living an alternative, from an alternative point of view. And so retirement, that just doesn't occur to me. Retire from what? Breathing? Okay, that's called death. I'll get there one day. Hopefully not today.
Well, thank you.
You
Thanks
got it
again.
again. You got it.
Can we take a picture, please?
Let's do it.
¿Nos tomamos una fotito?